Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Radio Free Wall Street, 5 o'clock New York time. Every single day of the week, our live webcast. And today I've got a very interesting show. And something very important because it's something they don't want you to know about. We specialize in that. We've had three central banks have meetings this week. One was the Federal Reserve of the United States of America. They raised rates a quarter of a point. The other was the European Central Bank, with Draghi, and they kind of went shuck and jive, and everything's fine, everything's great, but and you got the Chinese, which is trying to put money into their system because the loans are drying up, businesses are failing, and I want to tell you why. Here's the bottom line. Bottom line of all the shit you're hearing about. All right, are you raising rates, not raising rates? What's going on? How come? Easing, no easing? What was the bottom line? Bottom line is the global market is slowing down. Market is slowing down in the United States. Market is slowing down in Europe. Market is slowing down in China. And as they start slowing down, businesses start dropping dead like flies. You have, as we speak, the Latin America crisis. You've heard about Brazil currency collapsing. Riots in the street over high fuel prices, inflation running away. Argentina, defaulting on its bonds, had to have a bailout from the IMF very quietly. The currency still weak, in trouble. Mexico, again, Mexican peso continue to collapse. Now let's go over to Europe. Well, the euro's been collapsing against the dollar all year. Italy's banks are stone cold broke. The populist movement is rising up. The people are tired of this shit, and they're blaming America. See, like in the United States, who gets the blame in America? Why is the economy not good? Why don't you have a job? Well, it's those damn foreigners. That's who it is. Your job's in Mexico, Mr. Detroit man. Oh, my God, they're the ones that are taking the jobs, raping your wife, giving drugs to your kids. They're your enemy. Either way it goes, the bottom line is it's about pay, right? I mean, what are the politicians offering? More pay and more factories in America. What is the trade war all about? It's about jobs. It's about the fact that, oh, my God, China is dumping steel in America and you don't have a steel job. Oh, shit. I'm glad I know now. Canada, eh? Canada, eh? Yeah. They're screwing you on your maple syrup. They're making cars there. And don't even get started about Mexico. Oh, my God, the taco burners. What's happening? They're taking your jobs, taking your kids' lives, selling them drugs. Oh, his has pop. And then we got China, one of the worst offenders of all. Oh, no. And then Europe. But guess what? In Europe, politicians are saying the same thing. In England, we have to exit from the British. The British people have to free themselves from the European zone because those foreigners are coming to England and taking the jobs. And all those cheap imports from Europe are killing our economy. China. Oh, my God. There's no money here. We've built too much. We're losing our markets. Businesses have to tighten up. Loan money's not coming. Okay, so what is the basic thing? Forget the immigration, hostile trade wars, all this bullshit. Bottom line is we've had a 10-year massive expansion. That expansion was brought to you by the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States, the European Central Bank in Europe out of Brussels. Thank you, Dragoli. And don't forget the Chinese Central Bank. What are we doing? They made vast amounts of money available. You have the United States debt approaching 100% of GDP. That's third world country type shit. You got European central banks are running out of securities to buy to stimulate the economy. They bought government debt. They hold 30%. The European Central Bank holds 30% of government debt in Europe. Holy shit. China? China's debt is 350 times its gross domestic product. 350%. Those are two little circle diagonal line. That's a percent, right, Naval guy? Yeah, he says it's right. So that's, what, 3? Oh, he says it's 3.5 times, in case you don't want to do the percent thing. Okay. Now, it has been the greatest expansion in the history of mankind. It has been the lowest debt creation ever. It has been the biggest, baddest overbuilding, overconsumption, debt orgy since the time first man walked on the planet. Is that getting through to you? And it's gotten out of hand. American central banks say, well, you have this, I talk shit. I mean, I curse, I talk nasty, but those central banks go, well, we may have overstimulated the economy, and maybe we kept interest rates little bit lower than we should have. Oh, bullshit. You created the biggest goddamn bubble in the history of mankind. The bubble stock market, bubble real estate market. You created a bubble in Europe. You created a bubble in Asia. Hello? China's not selling steel at half its cost of production because things are going well. They have too many steel mills. They have too many apartment buildings. They have too many factories. Ditto Europe, and may I mention the good old United States? We have too many shopping centers. We have too many malls. We have too many retail establishments. We have too much real estate. Too many condos. Too many everything. We have 25% more car capacity than we really need. Funny what the politicians don't tell you. So this is presented to you as class warfare, race warfare, evil Ferner, damn them. All of it's not true. The central bank screwed up. Okay, here. I want you to smoke your peace pipe and take a deep toe. Okay, let it out. Feel better now? Yeah. Okay, so now that I've gotten our dose of medical marijuana, let me tell you the straight story of what's going on. They created too much debt. They loaned too much money. They did it in America. They did it in Europe. They did it in Asia. Now they've got all that debt out there, and the debt's going to be... did I mention the BRICS in Latin America? Yeah, they got around to 107-year bond in Argentina. And don't forget, a year ago at this time, your friendly fund managers at Fidelity and BlackRock, yeah, and Goldman Sachs, they were buying bonds that were paying 7 and 10% out of Venezuela. They forgot they didn't mention that to you? Yeah, I got that shit in the account right now. Yeah, they're going to foreign bond. And the BRICS, remember, all brokers telling you brick here, brick there, brick everywhere. Brazil, that brick is Brazil. Oh, I know. Russia. India. Oh, China. Holy shit, Batman. The shitholes of the world. So what's going on? They're wiping out. Pure and simple. They can't pay back the debt. That's what this is all about. You know, when you talk about the Latin America debt crisis and the currency's falling, it is a debt problem. They are allowing the value of the currency to fall to discount the debt. Duh. Well, I didn't know that. Well, it's amazing when we tell you. Doing the same thing in China. Oh, did I mention Europe? Well, think about it. The European Union, okay, Greek is in trouble. The Greek crisis never went away. The IMF kiss of death is still cursing that country. Now you heard about the Italian banks being bailed out. Well, what does that really mean? Well, if the banks are needing bailout, that means the people that borrowed the money from the banks must need bailing out too. Hello? Connect the dots here. You're talking about real estate prices falling, England, job cuts and all that. What's going on there? It is a wipeout. Hello? It is a recession. Hello? And it is a wipeout that is growing in magnitude and spreading around the world. It's called, hey, I know, wow, a global recession. It's not something new. You know, we talk about how the markets unite. Well, listen, when we had a global depression, that was the 1920s. The markets are connected. From the time the Nina Pinta and Santa Maria sailed across the ocean, filled its boats full of shit, well, ever since then, it's been a global economy, okay? And it's gotten more global economy. And that means that everyone gets to prosper together, everyone gets to create debt together, and everyone gets to wipe out together. Hello? That's what you're seeing. So central banks around the world are tightening. They are pulling back their quantum easing. Either it's the quantum easing style in America. They're dropping it by $50 billion a month. They're raising rates. Europe, well, we're going to raise rates, but we don't want people shitting on themselves. So maybe we'll do it next year. But in the meantime, we're pulling back our bond buying. China, well, maybe the state-run enterprises have loaned too much money, and we're tightening the loan standards and raising rates, I might add. Hello? Connect the dots. They're all doing the same thing. Now, America's doing it more aggressively. We're raising rates, and that means the funds flow to America. Duh. Here, let's have a snap quiz. Would you want to buy a 10-year note from the Italian government that's paying 1.75%, backed by the full-inflation pledge of provolone cheese and Italian wine? Or would you like to buy a 10-year bond at 3%, backed by the full place and fledge of the greatest taxing authority in the world, the biggest economy in the world, the most innovative one. You have Europe's economy that's based 20% on high tech. America's approaching 40%. Now, no cheating. Read after me. 1, 2, 3. Duh! It's a no-brainer. So what are we seeing happening? Well, U.S. rates are going higher, and the dollar's going higher. Why? Well, you can't buy U.S. government bonds with euros. You sure as shit can't buy them with Venezuela pesos, or Mexican one either, for that matter. So what do you have to do? You've got to buy dollars. So what has happened in the dollar? Well, you had a British pound that was trading in April at $1.43. It's $1.32. Oh, the beautiful euro, right? Well, in April, it was trading close to $1.25. It's now at $1.15. Oh, wow, Mr. Bill. What can that mean? Well, it means, here's a snap quiz, people are buying dollars and getting rid of these other currencies. The dollar index. Remember the dollar index? The dollar index went from 88. It's now at 94. By the way, you want to hear something about the dollar index? Coming into today, the dollar index was trading at 93. You might remember I've been telling you to buy at that and all that. Well, guess what happened? It went from 93 today to 94.90, call it 95, back at the highest level it's been in, what, a year? Why? Whoa. No cheating. Snap quiz, what's going on? People are buying the shit out of dollars. Hello? Now, this is a great opportunity for enhanced trading in the good old days. Got to know what you're doing. Look, here's the problem. You got an ETF? That's going to give you, the best ETF I've got out there in currencies will give you a 4 times play, okay? But there are other instruments that give you, instead of 4 times leverage, 100 times leverage. So it's all a question of how fast the game you want to play and how much knowledge you have. I'm in the knowledge business, by the way, just so I mention that. And I can show you how to rearrange your portfolio where now it's time to roll out of your ETFs, free up a whole lot of money, even if you're taking losses, and get into highly leveraged instruments where we've taken money 3 times today, 3 times this year. Okay? The ETF is a very slow, safe game. If it's too slow for you and too safe, and now you see that the ETFs we're talking about are like, uh-oh, this guy's right. Look at this. Dollar's soaring. Stock market's had 2 1,000-point wipe-out days. Now you got a bit of a rally back, which is a joke. And what are you going to do when it falls again? Okay? I mean, do you really believe that we want to buy Netflix and have to give another $2-3 billion according to them in the next couple of years? Are they really got something so exclusive that somebody else isn't going to eat their lunch and spit them out? I mean, the mergers are about what? Content delivery? We've been delivering content by wireless since the day of Marconi and the radio, okay? It's not something new. We've had a fight between telegraph cables and right? From the time that we had Morse code sweeping the world, okay? So this idea of how we're delivering messages by wire or by wireless, has been going on for about 100 years now. But it's all supposed to be new again according to Wall Street. People buy into that shit, okay? We are on the cusp of a major recession. Look, we have got central banks the world over that are pulling back easing. They aren't doing this because they want to. They got no choice. They know a wipeout's coming. Hello? A wipeout is coming. Repeat after me. Wipe out. How many recessions have you seen? Tell me what you think about this. Have you ever had a recession? In all the recessions you've seen, where your broker said, oh, by the way, recession's coming. I need you to take shelter, get out of stocks. You better lock in those yields. Have you had one time that happen? Have you ever had a broker, other than me, anyone call you and say, oh, by the way, the yield curve's going flat, it's getting ready to invert. I need you to lock in 30-year zero coupon bonds because the yields are going to go double-digit negative, and you're going to make a killing. And I've done it 3 times in them. Yeah, 3. 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, okay? And we want you to take shelter. And have you ever had a call and say, look, the stock market's about to lose 50% of its value, and a recession's coming, and a tech, you have ever had 87 stock market crash? Let's just talk about it. Let's go down. Let's go the 88 wipeout. How about the 90s? How about through the 2000? We had 2 there, tech break. Has it ever happened? Ever, even once? 2007, 8, 9? Call? It's not their job. It's my job. That's why they hate my freaking guts. Hello? I love it. If Wall Street loves you, then you must be screwing the little guy. I mean, that is their business directive, okay? Now, you can see in the market where you've got the Dow Jones rally stalled. You got the S&P 500 rally stalled. Okay, they're only at a 60% retracement. Oh, the NASDAQ is breaking out the new highs. Why? Because of Uber? Yeah, right. Oh, I know. Netflix. How about the man in Mars supercar? Elon laying off workers now? I'm going to lay off workers to produce more cars. Excuse me? I thought you were gearing to produce more cars to begin with. Hello? Rolls-Royce, just to destroy Rolls-Royce, laying off people. Now, they always tell you they're rolling off people because we have great opportunities and we're going to really tighten up our management. Well, your management wasn't tightened before? Oh, you're now laying off thousands of people and closing XX stores? Well, why the hell did you open in the first place? And what changed now that, 2 years ago you were telling me how, we're going to open 5,000 new locations. You remember that shit? Well, what happened? Well, obviously there's a slowdown. But they can't speak that to you. There's no CEO that can say, oh, by the way, we think there's a major recession coming. We're lowering our head count, pulling in our horns, so we can survive this. We have massive amounts of debt. We're not so sure we can pay it. Ever have that happen? Ever once? Anytime ever? It's like a corporation announced, Elon Musk announced how the Muskmobile is going to lay off all these workers. They lay out their stock, okay? Well, I got all excited. Elon Musk bought back, $75 million shares of his stock. He holds $1 billion worth of this stuff. Why did he do it? Because of the make no profit flamethrower gun? By the way, I got a much better flame. That's a bullshit flamethrower gun. My gun throws a flame 30 feet. Throws marshmallows down the street. Well, that's bullshit. Maybe I ought to do the Nick flamethrower and show you what a real flamethrower works like. Shit. That was worse than Little Marco. Oh my God. I mean, if I had that, I would lose my manhood. Anyway, you want to hear a potato cannon story? For some reason, we decided to build these potato cannons. So we got the pipes out of PVC and all that with the kids. And, well, it got out of hand. Says, well, listen, if we're going to do this, let's put a butane bottle on there, and let's go ahead and get an oxygen bottle, little small ones, and put it on the side there. And we got a little solenoid here, and we'll put it in. And we might as well get an igniter and use we used a capacitor from either, I can't remember now, was either a capacitor on one of those, ones on your car, where you've got them in a row down there. Now they put a ignition coil on every cylinder. It was either one of those I took off one of the cars, or it was something for an oil burner firing thing. I like buying those kind of things. So we had the thing going, and we got a big evacuation hole in the back. We got a potato in there, and we gas it, and I pull the trigger, and nothing happens. So I decide that maybe there's something wrong, and so I open the large plug on the back, and I look inside and pull the trigger, at which time the whole thing flamed off, burned my mustache, the hair on my chin, my eyebrows, and my front hair. And I turned to the kid and said, don't laugh. Anyway, what happened was I didn't put the oxygen in. Anyway, make a long story short, this thing was we were shooting pigeons out of the air flying. This thing went crazy. It was unbelievable. Anyway, so I got the Elon Musk deal. I go, shit, I really thought it'd be something really cool. I mean, we use them. We use leaf blowers in them, and we get it, crank it up pretty good. Feed liquid LPG, turn the tank upside down, feed liquid into the thing, and away you go, right? Pretty cool. This thing had like a little 2-foot flame or something. I thought, I would be embarrassed if I had a flamethrower. It's got to be 20, 30 feet. Now we're talking I'll try to put up a picture of the flamethrower yeah. Huh. So anyway, this is a guy that can't even make a decent flamethrower, but he's borrowing, billions and billions of dollars. Okay, wake up and realize here that we are in a major recession. No one wants to say that. No one wants to speak the word. Look, oil. Well, oil was on its way to $80 a barrel. Okay, it's now at 65, trying to do a rally back. 60, close to 67. Trying to do a rally back, okay, but what's really going on? Well, what's knocked out its ass? Well, the real story is, despite the blow and going how high they're going to get it before they drop it again, is oil demand is falling. Now, repeat after me. 1, 2, 3. Duh! Why? Well, the world economy is slowing. Less economy activity, less demand for energy. Okay, we're seeing it across the board. Currencies are collapsing, okay? Now remember, The guys who are at the switch, they can't tell you this shit. Hi, I just want to call you and tell you that I think you should liquidate your stock portfolio and go short because we're very concerned about the market. How long do you think he'd be at the desk? You told those people to get out? We're trying to put them in that shit. So it's just a wipeout that happens. And the wipeout gets bigger and bigger. And uglier and uglier. So now, it's time to change your life. It is time to understand it is time. Look, the truth is, a guy like me, I trade these big trends. They take years to unfold, okay? This has been the longest up market and cycle in the history of modern history of America without a recession. Okay. I thought there'd be one sooner. But now it's here. Holy shit. It's time to cash in. It's time to enhance, okay? You trade a low margin instrument, okay, when you got a market that's going against you because it stays you in the game, okay? But when the market is now going your way, holy shit, it is time to go apeshit crazy, and it's time to make a difference, okay? Bottom line, it is time to use enhanced tools. We'll show you how. Markets are wonderfully placed. Central banks are raising rates, pulling back, easing. Hello. And here's a newsflash. These guys run on a world of credit, okay? That's the only way they make their numbers work. Okay, they got to borrow, and they got to borrow, and they got to borrow. And it's a great deal. You borrow to expand your business. What do they always do? Always. How many years have been around on the planet? Don't they always borrow too much? And don't we always go into recession? Oh, and don't we always deny we're in a recession? We're in a recession because it doesn't, play good and pure, right? Okay. So what should you do about it? Take advantage of what is something you've seen all your life. The central bank, Wall Street, well, we see, you've heard the bullshit. Well, we see it's really good. Oh, my God. We can get more higher interest because interest rates are higher. Well, no, bullshit. Your cost of funds, which is based on the 2-year to the 5-year, is a lot higher. And you're getting the 10 and 30-year return. You ain't making no money, Jack. Who are you bullshitting? Every time we have a recession, banks get their ass kicked. Every time without recession. This time's different. Or like the yield curve's going flat, right? I said it was flatter than a 7-year-old girl's chest, but I think that was sexist and was not politically correct. So I'm going to try to be politically correct. It's hard. So it's flatter than a crepe at a Paris creperie, okay, where the guy's rolling it out. I mean, have you ever seen how flat they are? Okay. So now what are you going to do? We are going to turn knowledge into power and money. It's very simple. No recession is ever pre-announced by any central bank. No one ever admits it's going down. It's not what they do. It's not part of their equation. It's not part of what is PC. So you've got to embrace that. And you've got to understand it. And you've got to move into the real world. You got to move into the future. You've got to understand that recessions are one of the more predictable events, and here's the punchline, and one of the most denied events. Why? Because they are so devastating. Governments hate them. Businesses hate them, okay? They're fighting for their survival here, folks. Okay, these guys cannot survive this recession. They are going to go broke. We're going to have bankruptcies. We're going to have debt go bad. We're going to have a stock market crash. Well, you know that. That gives you an enormous advantage, okay? Now is the time to load for bear. There are times when you're pulling your horns and you're conservative waiting them out. But now is not such a time, okay? Now is a time to go after them. Lock and load, rock and roll. It's party time. I love it. I've spent a lifetime doing this, okay? And I've gotten really good at it. Practice makes perfect, okay? And I trade mega trends. And I've never been in a mega event year. Never, not once. That they didn't tell me it wasn't a mega event. I've never been in a recession where it started, but didn't tell me no, this time it's not going to be a recession. No. The yield curve's flattening, we can tolerate that, okay? The bullshit is absolutely amazing. So I beg you, wake up and smell the coffee and look what's going on. Understand that the world is taking an ugly turn. Understand that, oh my God, Batman, it's happening again. Now, as you understand that, and as you move forward that, now you enhance your trading. Okay? You enhance your trading at the time your trade rationale is proven to be correct, right? That's the whole name of the game. Because remember, Wall Street's game is to convince you that a stock market crash is not going to happen. Wall Street game is to get you to look at things incorrectly. Wall Street game is to push you over the edge, okay? It's that simple. And they always do that. So here we go again. And again, and again, and again, okay? And I beg you, this is a great opportunity. Look, when this recession takes hold, and I think you know this, it's going to cripple America. When this recession takes hold, oh my God, people are not going to know what to do. And it's going to be really ugly because this one will go into a depression. We are in a trade war. China's announcing more sanctions. Trump is gearing this thing up. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? And at some point in the future, this come unglued. And let me tell you, when we end up in a stock market wipeout, and we end up in a depression, there's going to be nothing for you to do. There's no trading. There's no movement. The market's on its ass, and it's done. And there's going to be nothing to do for most of the rest of our lifetime. In fact, this will be our last great cycle. This will last 3 years, 5 years. But once we hit the bottom, and get that low job, it's going to stay there for a long time. Going to be governments toppling around the world. Banking, we have 5,000 banks in America. We probably could use 1,500. And, it's time to clean out the dead wood. That's a reality. We've been consolidating banks since the time of one on every street corner. Okay, take a look. They're not there anymore. So we are absolutely getting into a crisis. Absolutely into a major economic turn of events. And it's time to go to extremely aggressive trading using enhanced instruments. And there are a lot of ways to do that. So anyway, get a hold of us and we'll explain to you what your options are. There's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of ways to free up money in portfolios. And there's a whole different world times 3 times leverage and times 100, if you're right. To give you an example. This oil price collapse has been really great for enhanced instruments. The 1,000-point stock market drop, we've been in and out of that thing twice. But with these very slow-moving, low-leverage instruments, you're not doing anything. It's the nature of the game, my friends. If you go for an instrument that's going to give you a low risk, going to give you 2 to 3 times leverage, it take a long time to make money. 10 times leverage, different ball game. 100 times leverage, and even bigger ball game on top of that. So you got to decide how aggressive a game you want to play. Anyway, it's my pleasure. By the way, I'm coming out with you at 6 o'clock New York time with another wellness report live. We'll be streaming it on this channel, and it'll be on the NixWellnessReport.com website. And I got to tell you, today with Draghi and the European Union, yesterday with the Federal Reserve, it should be obvious to everyone that we are in a recession. We are headed for a depression, and it's going to be very ugly.